All right, happy Monday. Let's do some guided spelling. This week we are continuing to work on words that have irregular spellings. So words that you can't just sound out and know how they're supposed to be spelled. And these are all high frequency words, which means you see them a lot, you hear them a lot, you write them a lot. So you definitely want to know how to spell them. So we're going to be working on high frequency words with irregular spellings. And you're going to recognize these words. So just do your best to spell them as we go. Get yourselves ready with a piece of paper and a pencil if you need it. Or a whiteboard if you happen to have one. I'm lucky I have one. And you can pause the video to go get those materials and then press play whenever you're ready to keep going. Okay, our first word for today is the word some. Like not all of it, but some of it. Not like this math word some, but some as in not all. Please go ahead and try that word out on your paper or your whiteboard. Some. Think about what you've seen, where you've read it. Okay, let's see how you did. So some, S-O-M-E. Doesn't sound like an O, sounds like a U, but like I said, irregular spellings. Some. Remember this because it's going to be useful in a lot of our other words today. Okay. Our next word is something. Something, like something big has been here. Something. You know the word some now. You probably know the word thing. Put them together. Something. How'd you do? Something. Now, oftentimes when we add an ending onto a word and there's an E on the end, we kind of have to get rid of that E. This is, like I said, irregular spelling. So in this case, it's more like a compound word. Something. Like, oh, it's something. Okay. Keep some in your head as we do the next one. The next one is sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Sometimes. Again, kind of like a compound word. Okay. How'd you do? Sometimes. We have the word some, and then we just added times. Notice a lot of these have a kind of a theme going through. Some, not all. Something, not all the things. Sometimes, not all the times. And the next one, someone. Someone. Like, someone left cookies on my porch. Okay, we know some, and last week we learned one, the number, which is also irregularly spelled, someone. Just put them together, and that's your word, someone. That was a trickier one. Okay. Some, and a lot of the other words we're going to do today kind of have almost that schwa sound, some, right? Listen for that in the other words, and they also try to think of when you've seen these words in your reading, what do they look like? Okay, so our next word is come, like come here. Come. This one's a tricky one, because again, irregular spellings. Come here, C-O-M-E. Now remember last week we did comb, like comb your hair. This is what we would think comb was spelled like, but this is the word come with an O-M-E. Like I've said a million times to you guys, the English language is very tricky. Okay, we know the word come, C-O-M-E, we just learned it. Next word is become. Like, I want to become a doctor when I grow up. Become. Become. Okay. So you know the word come. Just add be onto the front. Become. Okay, we've only got two more. This next one I don't have a trick for you guys. You just have to think about when you've seen it in books or anywhere else in writing. And this word is does. Does. This one tricks a lot of people. So just try it and then practice it this week. The word is does. D-O-E-S. That is pronounced does. However, and here's a just aside, this is also plural for female deer, like doe, a female deer. If there were more than one of them, it would be does. But most of the time when we see this word and you see it in a sentence like, does this make sense? It's pronounced does. A lot of second graders spell it D-O-S-E because you know that there's an E and an S and an O in there. You just got to practice it so that your brain remembers the right way. Does. And the last one is both. This is a common word, and it's got a vowel sound that shouldn't be long, shouldn't have a long O, but give it a try. Both. You know all the sounds in it. B-o-th. This one's not as hard. Just don't add an E onto the end. This has a long O sound even though there's no E at the end. Okay, and those are our words for this week, so make sure that you practice them and then ask an adult to give you a test on Friday. Have fun!